When he was about 5, 6 year old, he decided he's going to have a speedway track in the backyard. And it was called Fig Speedway. And he used to run every Sunday.
But he started building a push bike, stripped it completely, did an iridescent blue paint job or green, I can't quite remember. Fully bombed this push bike, and that's when we started racing BMX, or not BMX, we called it Speedway. And like Dad said, it's Fig Speedway.
To get to Fig Speedway on a Sunday, you had to have an invitation from Michael. If you didn't have an invitation, you didn't show up. But the rules were very simple. You could do anything you liked, but you weren't allowed to beat him.
It's okay, I know someday I'm gonna be with you.
Michael didn't like to get beaten, particularly by the youngest. As I started getting older and a bit quicker, the last corner, he just come in and blatantly nailed me, took me out, just T-boned me. And I thought to myself, how could you do that to your own brother?
In later years, after he pretty much had enough of motocross and everything else, he decided, I'm looking at an old sedan, super sedan down at Mora. He rebuilt this thing. After he won some races with that, did pretty well at Claremont, he came in one day and he said to me, oh look, I'm interested in buying a speed car and I want to sell the super sedan. He bought his speed car, pulled it out in a million pieces on the floor, and I couldn't work out how he was going to put this thing back together again, and he did. Made a beautiful job of it, and of course the rest is history. He went from nothing to everything to more and more and more, got better and better equipment.
I mean, it's easy to say the Claremont national title, but Toowoomba was pretty special for me. Yeah, it was the first national title. The excitement was overwhelming.
And that's when he finished building this car behind me. Was Friday evening, and we went racing Saturday night. Went out for the next heat, the second heat, which was to be his last heat. He won by half a lap. When he came back in, he got out the top of the car and he stood back and did something completely out of character. And he said, this thing's awesome. He never said stuff like that.
And then when he got out of the car, and he said, yeah, I got to feel a bit off, got a sore back, and I rubbed it and did what I did, and he went and laid down for a while. But then I knew something was wrong. I knew it wasn't just a sore back.
He was sitting on the stool on the truck. He doing his helmet and goggles and everything, and he started to change colour. He went completely white. So I said to Stephen, quick, get him down to the first aid, which was only 50 metres away, and that was the rest. He never came back.
I sort of walked in there and the guys said to me, you with him? And I said, yeah, what's going on? And they said, what has he taken? Has he taken something? I said, yeah, Nurofen. And they went, nah, doesn't matter, that does nothing. And I said, what the hell's going on? He says, having a heart attack. And I went, I can see that.
And we end up in Fremantle Hospital. There were 2 surgeons which worked on him for 2 hours in there, came back out and said, unbelievable, no show.
Then I thought, what do I do now? I rang Valerie. As soon as I rang her, I don't ring her for anything. She just started screaming because she knew I wouldn't ring her unless there was a problem. And then I had to tell her, and then to ring. Sorry, mate.
That's right, mate. It's cool.
I had to ring the rest of them.
It was like a time warp. It was just, everything seemed to just sort of, I don't know, it was very silent and very numbing, and it's very hard to explain.
Sometime after the event, of course, once he passed away, we had the Speed Car Club do the right thing. The following week, it took them 1 week, they got all this gear together and put on a tribute night.
And we just naturally went, yeah, of course. What do you think was going to happen? We have to have a race.
We're going to have a tribute night. We spoke to the management at the Motorplex. Of course, they were all for it.
It's about Michael and keeping his name going, because that's, in the end of the day, we said that's what Michael loved. He really loved racing speed cars.
And when we had this first event, it was so successful that we decided that's it. We're having one every year, forever.
October 28, 2006, Michael Figlamini came back into this pit area at the Perth Motorplex with his second speed car heat race win for the night. That was normal. What wasn't normal, unfortunately, and tragic was Michael's untimely passing that very same night. And that's why we're here at the Perth Motorplex for the Magic Man 34 event. And whilst Michael Figlamini was an amazing speed car driver, he was also a former AHG Sprint Car Series champion, and at the time of his death, he was the second winningest driver ever in the history of the AHG Sprint Car Series. It's all about a magic man and a magic racer. Welcome back to the Perth Motorplex for the second round of the AHG Sprint Car Series, and certainly the standout in round number one was Ryan Farrell. Weather conditions absolutely perfect for some great speedway action. We expect a terrific crowd on hand for this one.